Well, Jennifer had a very close call with death, and most of the time in OB, it's a happy specialty. That's one of the reasons that we all love it.
I felt really good through the whole thing. Didn't really have any big issues or anything, but so it was a great pregnancy.
Actually, it was God's timing, I feel like, because she was supposed to be an induction on Thursday, and we called her in early to come in on Wednesday. We actually had more staff that day.
So obviously we took it. We took the advantage of coming in early, and got here that morning and was ready to, get it over with and meet our baby girl.
I helped her labor all day. Everything went wonderful. She's such a good, sweet person.
But Jennifer started bleeding almost immediately with the delivery of her baby and didn't stop. And we took her immediately to the operating room, did everything that we could do to get it to stop, did all the heroic measures we could think of, called for various telephone consults from experts around the area.
So the whole time I was in the, he took me to the OR room, and the whole time I knew what was going on and was well aware what's going on, just didn't know how bad it was.
And finally had to make a decision to move her, not completely stable, via air ambulance to Springfield Mercy.
Yeah, Hadley was born, and everything was fine with her. And it went really quickly, but after she was born, I continued to bleed.
Jennifer received 42 units of blood, which is a huge amount of blood, over 6 times her normal blood volume. When a person loses that much blood, it creates many other problems in the human body, including the inability to stop bleeding.
I know that Dr. Purcell, the whole time that we was in the OR, he was trying to get the bleeding to stop, and he continued to have issues with that. I remember him being on the phone talking to the doctors in Springfield, asking for suggestions, and once they made the decision to lifeline me, he said that he was going with me in the helicopter.
Riding in the helicopter with Jennifer was absolutely necessary. I held a device in place so that we could stop her bleeding. If I moved my hand too far, changed position, then her bleeding would increase again. So I had to ride right next to her in a very small and confined space, holding that instrument exactly the way I had it so that she wouldn't bleed to death in transit.
What I consider heroic efforts to save her life and had her transported to Springfield, and she was fighting for her life, and they did a lot of things there. These are just very astounding. I was really impressed. Even as a physician, I've seen a lot of things.
And I was just, praying to God that everything was going to work out, and just asking Him to stay with me and get us through it. But I remember, thinking about Dayton and Sean and, wanting to be a perfect family,
I was very proud of the way that the staff took care of Jennifer. I leave here every night knowing that everything's going to be okay because I do have excellent staff. The thing that I would like for people to know about Lebanon is that we truly care about what we're going to do. The nurses love their job.
And I do remember there was a gentleman that stood with me the whole time we were in the operating room. I remember Big Jim. And I remember Big Jim. I asked Big Jim, am I going to live?
When I found out how critical Jennifer was, I immediately came back to Sean and his family and said, we need to pray right now. And I prayed with him and his family right there.
The moment that they knew that something was wrong, when I was in the OR, our nurse, Whitney, and some of the others actually stopped and prayed with my family. And you know, we had so many people from the church come, but that meant so much, you know, and Sean will never forget that support that he had while he was here.
My colleagues all stayed afterwards. It was past our shift was over. We all stayed afterwards to watch her leave. And when she was leaving, we were all waiting in anticipation. We all were huddled in the hallway. There's a big group of us in a big circle, and we all prayed together over her, and especially when we saw her leave. We just prayed for her and Dr. Purcell, and I truly believe God was with her the whole time.
I had her on Wednesday, and on Friday, Sean came back to Lebanon and picked up Dayton and got Hadley and brought her to Springfield. And Dayton still talks about it today because he said, you know, I was crying when he walked in the room, and it was happy tears, obviously, but we were so ready for it, so ready to be together.
We are so happy that we were able to take care of her and her baby, and we prayed at the time. It was a frightening situation for everybody, and the fact that she trusted us to take care of her really means a lot to us.
You know, we can't thank them enough for everything that they did. You know, while I was here, while Hadley was here, and, you know, I've made connections with some of them outside of here since then, and we all get emotional, you know, when we see each other, but, you know, we're so grateful for everything that they did.
Their faith has been an inspiration to me as well, being so strong through all this and seeing them come together as a family, and they're being so supportive and nice to us too, you know, encouraging us that we did a good job. But really, they were the strong ones.
You know, I remember laying in ICU, and the head nurse from labor and delivery come by and said, you know, we were praying for you last night. We were praying for you this morning. The gentleman that I was in the helicopter with, he came by and you know, it's just moments like that we won't ever forget, you know. It just means so much.
Jennifer's story is special to us because she was one that we could have lost. She was that emergent of a situation. She could have been the one. We've never lost a mom here at Mercy in Lebanon, and it's always kind of in the back of your mind because it happens in places, but she was one we could have lost, and so everybody knew that and realized that at the time. They pulled together and they did what they had to do, and she was our top priority, and like they say, it wasn't going to happen on our shift.
All our nurses are moms themselves, and they were able to take care of this child very well. They did everything they could, short of breastfeeding. They took care of her really well. And I spoke to the father because he was one asking if we could transfer the baby to Springfield. And I told him that your child is getting excellent care here, and I don't want to stress you any further by transferring her up there. And then she can stay with us for the normal amount of days, usually 2 days. And when he heard me discuss this with him, he was very reassured that she was going to be all right. And so I think the second or third day of life, baby was taken home.
It's truly the hand of God that this woman is alive today. You know, I can't think of anything that takes my breath away more than listening to that baby take its first breath. And for 32 years now, I've had that joy and privilege. And Jennifer's one of the more special memories that I will always carry with me as I go through my life.